Hey everyone, I just wanted to give kind of an unfortunate update on these next couple of episodes. This was our first time using our new recording setup, and unfortunately I kind of wanged it, and we got some really rough audio from a couple of the mics. I tried my best to fix it, but it's still not something that I'm that happy with. I would have scrapped it, but I think there's still a lot of fun scenes here, and unfortunately with the episodic nature of this show, it's not really something that I want to scrap entirely when we're in the middle of a mystery. But on the bright side, once we get this new setup working, it should sound much better than our original one where we were all huddled around talking into a single mic and that mic was picking up everything else in the room. So once we get over that little hiccup, future recordings are going to sound way better. That's all I've got. Really sorry if some of it sounds rough. I tried my best to fix it. But thank you for listening despite it. And if you want to see the upcoming release of our character illustrations, definitely follow us on Facebook or on Twitter at Fiction First Pod. Last time on Fiction First.
Okay, cool. So where we're going to pick up on the first scene, we are going to pick up at the lacrosse club team tryouts. You're playing on the field with your teammates, the guys that you've been playing with for some time, and Beatty, Luke, your friend Kamal, also, and Dooger. Yeah, so you're trying out this new guy named Jake, but at the corner of your eye, you can see some other people from your rival club team.
That's Cassandra and Creed.
Yes, Cassandra and Creed.
They're
from Moorgrave University.
Yeah, they're the Moorgrave captains.
Bright and early at 11 a.m. and you're just pounding on your door and when you open it, Beatty's there, and he has tears in his eyes. Paxton, it's Dooger. He's dead.
What? Doogie's dead?
You know, when we were at practice the other day, the other team said they had a secret weapon. Perhaps it was just murdering your team.
Damn, that's good. That's right. That's actually a really good secret weapon.
So we open back up with the scene where we left off, which was the party.
Right.
Yes.
We open the door, right?
You're in the building.
Swing. Okay.
It's a media res.
People strewn about. There's lava lamps. There's a poster of Jim Morrison. It's a college party.
Yeah, and this Cassandra's Loft is quite nice. There are a lot of people crammed into it, probably 30, 40 or so. Kind of coming in and out. There's a nice balcony on the edge that overlooks kind of Sharn in the nighttime. This is right by Moorgrave University, which is in a totally separate group of towers that you guys normally hang out at. You're in the Dura quarter of Sharn, and the Memphis Plateau, which is a totally separate group of towers, is where Moorgrave resides. So you guys are way out of your district right now.
It's a lot nicer than the dump I went to. Actually, this is nicer than my current apartment.
Hard Knocks.
Yes.
The School of Hard Knocks, yeah.
Of course. Yeah, me and little orphan Annie. The orphan from the neighborhood. We went to the School of Hard Knocks together.
Oh, right, I remember her.
Yeah.
How's she?
Oh, it's great. She was adopted by Daddy Big Bucks.
Yeah, we got it. Okay. But there, everyone in this building except for Halwin and Frank are teenagers for the most part, young adults.
But we're passing.
I mean, we'll see about that. They're very hip and very trendy. There are some cool lava lamp-esque things, and they're smoking some stuff. They're drinking a lot of stuff. There is some music pulsing in the background. So yeah, what do you all want to do?
Frank is hitting the dance floor.
Okay.
My philosophy is to best get a handle of the situation, create the situation. That's one of my detective mottos.
How do you think Frank dances?
It's a lot of elbows. There's a lot of elbows and like compact, quick movements.
Oh, so it's like the fighting style that Batman uses in The Dark Knight.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Go ahead and act under pressure for me.
Dancing's hard, man.
That's a 4.
Yeah.
4 plus cool.
7.
Okay. So a total of 7, which is a mixed success for act under pressure. That results in a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. But your intention was to dance, and you do it reasonably well. What could a worse outcome for this be?
You could knock over someone's drink.
I could knock over someone.
Could do that.
Because these are, as mentioned, aggressive moves.
Okay.
This is not a waltz.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that you do kind of clip into someone and just send them down to the ground, and you don't really see who it is immediately. But you see this kind of a small human boy kind of trudge away, like looking real sad. But then like a bunch of other people start to swarm you and actually really into your dance.
Nice.
Kind of a bunch of bros that just like start fist pumping around you and like start to try and mimic your moves, and then you find yourself kind of encircled by them. And then so
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank.
And so for the foreseeable future, Frank is currently tied up on the dance floor. What's everyone else doing?
I'm gonna go try to look natural. Get a bev. Is there
a bev?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a bev station?
There's probably a bev station.
A bev station.
Yeah, there's definitely a nice station full of bevs. Probably just like arcane coolers or like weird like never melting ice or something like that.
Is that the brand? Instead of Smirnoff Ice, it's never melting ice?
Sure.
Sweet.
People like come up to the bev station while you're there, and they just kind of give you a weird look just because you're so much older than everyone else.
I'm a half elf. I'm not like wrinkled and stuff.
No, but it's still very much like a 40-year-old walking into a college party.
Yep.
AKA very cool.
Speaking from experience, very cool.
Yeah.
So anything else besides the bev?
I'm just gonna. So I don't even, because I didn't go to the practice or the tryout, so I actually don't even know what the people were after look like.
Sure, that's fair.
Okay.
Pax,
so you're looking for a fire elemental,
they
right?
may have described Cassandra to you. She is pretty easy to spot. Yeah, she is a fire ganassi, which is a half elemental, half person.
She's 1 in a million.
It's 1 in a million, apparently. Her features, I think she has this actually kind of like a darkish skin, but has this blue flame as a part of her fire ganassi.
Well, Azula up in here.
Kind of, yeah. So her hair is kind of this shorter blue flame that just kind of flies off of her head all the time, and you currently don't see anyone fitting that description around.
Okay. Then, I'm just gonna kind of...
I'm
gonna post up against the wall and...
Sure. We can move on. Pax, do you want to do anything?
So, this not being my first party...
Of course.
I kind of know the groundwork. Like, I kind of know how the college dynamic goes.
Do you think you've ever been at a party in this environment?
At a Morgrave party? No, never.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like I stuck out like a sore thumb because I'm still wearing my Sharon State Letterman jacket.
Yes.
And yellow.
But why?
Why would I take it off? I'm proud.
Yeah, he always wears it.
I'm team captain. Yes. So I feel like me entering this room, I don't know how many lacrosse people may or may not be at this party, but I feel like everyone at the school would know where I'm from.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of playing it cool. Like I'm not fighting anybody, but I would do what any awkward person would do in this situation, and I would go outside. Not immediately the way we came, but out on like the balcony.
You're beelining for the balcony, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I'm just not going to talk to anybody. I'm just going to walk past them, you know.
I thought you were going to find a dog.
Nice head nod, like, what's up? What's up?
Yeah, so it is Cassandra's party, so there are people from the lacrosse team, the Morgrave lacrosse team there that you can kind of avoid. And heading out onto the balcony, like I said, it's nighttime, it's a little bit chilly out, there's not a whole lot of people out there. But there is someone kind of on the balcony, kind of leaning over there, just kind of waiting, and they're kind of like rubbing their shoulder, as if like nursing like a bruise or something like that. And you You look to see it's a kid that you were playing in with the tryouts, Jake, who was trying out for the Sharnies. That didn't quite make it. You had to tell him to beat it.
Jake? What are you doing here, man?
He turns over and he's this shorter human kid with brownish hair kind of tousled over his face, and he's grabbing his shoulder as if he'd just been hurt trying to cross the dance floor. And
it's all coming together.
That's a good twist. Okay.
Don't stop me when I'm in my zone.
And he turns over and says, "Hey, Paxton. Just, I knew a couple of people here at the party, and I was just hanging out. I tried to cross the dance floor and just got clocked."
Yeah, that was my weird uncle. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's totally okay. Why are you here?
It's kind of a long story. I don't want to have to involve you in criminal activity if you're not, not willing to take that step. You're a freshman, right?
Sophomore, actually.
Okay.
Wait, just divert. I don't want to get you in criminal activity. So you're a freshman.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm not going to ask too many questions. And no hard feelings about the tryouts or anything like that.
No. Don't get me wrong, Jake. Like, you had tons of promise. You handled the stick real well. Your passes, like perfecto. I really think you showed great hustle. But you know what you're missing? It's just a little bit more of experience. So what I'd recommend is we do have a team manager spot open that I'd love you to fill out.
Ooh.
He does look kind of disappointed by that.
I really thought you were going to say what you're missing is about 6 inches, since he said he was short.
No, but Jake, honestly though, like if you're a team manager and you come to all our practices, like that just exposes you to the team more techniques, more tips, and next year we're going to get you out on that field and you're going to be kicking ass.
He says, "Well, I mean, you're down a person right now, right? Like, can I just step in and fill in right now? Like, I heard what happened, and I know that, like, you need someone to help out, right? I could help."
Have you ever played goalie?
A couple of times here and there. I mean, it's not my main thing, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
I'm not one to exclude anybody, Jake. So, if you would like a chance to try out for goalie, we will give you that chance.
Awesome.
Yeah, but not right now because we got shit to do. But
no, yeah, totally. Sure. Can I come by tomorrow? Can we do it tomorrow?
What time? Because I'm not gonna be awake before 2.
Anytime you want.
Yeah, let's hit the field. 3. Yeah, 3 works.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
And he gets really excited, and then he just kind of he reaches to shake your hand.
Jake, come here, buddy. We don't shake hands. Not at Sharn. That's a Moregrave thing.
You give him a hug?
Yeah, I give him a hug. That's my boy. Anybody who wants to be a Sharnie is family.
He says, "Thank you. I used to go to Moregrave, believe it or not, and I just transferred over to Sharn State this coming semester. So I'm really happy to find someone that treats me like I belong."
At Moregrave, they're not really friendly people.
No, they're not.
And so, what I think would be good for you is to stay at Sharn State because Moregrave sucks. Now get out of here. Get away from this party. What are you doing here? I go home.
It's like, oh, okay, fine.
Go home.
Okay, he takes the multiple suggestions to leave seriously, and then jogs back into the party, and you see him go towards the door.
Okay, good hustle.
Disappears into the crowd.
Okay, yeah, I handled that well.
You did. Anything else you want to do while you're out here?
I just want to, I guess, take a scope around. Is anybody else outside? Is there anything? Is the night sky nice?
The bits that you can see of the night sky, it is pretty nice. There's this massive wall in your way for most of it. As just more tower rises and rises. But you do see a bit of Moregrave University, and it is pretty beautiful in comparison to what you're used to.
This place is a dump.
But yeah, there's currently no one else on the balcony there.
I'm gonna try to find Paxton. Actually.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You can meet him outside. That's fine.
So, Paxton, what's our angle here exactly?
Well, it's really awkward because Cassandra and I, we don't really get along now.
I've gathered that, believe it or not. But
you don't ever want to think anybody's capable of of murder.
Of course not. Incidentally, most people are in my experience, but you don't want to think that.
I guess it comes with territory.
Again, I haven't met this Cassandra, but I don't see any Ganassi around in the Fire Ganassi. So
she's more she throws these parties as a social thing. She's not really a partier, so I imagine she's just locked away in her room somewhere.
Frank, while you're on the dance floor, you notice something out of the corner of your eye. A familiar-ish face. Individual named Varm, a goblin that you know that works with the Dask.
Oh, boy.
oh boy,
You see them kind of sneak into the party through the front door and nod at a couple of people. And
Sneak in through the front door. Classic. They always look in the back door.
And he's this goblin with the short creature with yellowish skin, these two big ears and the snaggle tooth sticking out of his mouth and hunched over and
so handsome for a goblin.
Pretty handsome, sure. And you see Varm meet up with someone else at the party, and they kind of move towards a corner and start doing a little dealing.
All right. All right, fellas. Got to refuel. This engine doesn't run on applause alone, but it helps.
And it's like, whoa, come on. Don't leave.
No, I promise. I'll show you more. Trust me, back in my day, I was a legend.
Yeah, crush it, bro.
Yeah. And I high-fived them aggressively. Like, super aggressively.
And that is how you do it.
And that's how you do it. I kind of first I do grab some punch of some sort, because I am it's a lot of sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, on the floor, people couldn't notice because it was dimmer, so that dancing would occur, but now that I'm, like, more in the punch area, whoa.
And if you're, like...
I didn't take off my trench coat.
Dress shirt and... like, you have a trench coat, and it's like your dress shirt, is it, like, white? Is it, like...
Oh, yeah. It's see-through.
Kind of somewhat see-through right now.
Yeah. And so I get a little punch, and I mosey over to Varm.
Okay. Yeah. Varm sees you coming, and tries to wrap up what he's doing with these couple of college students that he's dealing with. You see that he looks like he's giving them these small vials of this opalescent liquid inside, which you recognize as Dream Lily.
Hello, ladies. Do you mind if I speak to my associate here? We're good old friends.
Yeah, they see someone like you walk up to just someone so old and walk up to them and like
someone just so
hello,
old.
young lady.
And like they like clam up and like don't say anything and just like finish what they're doing and then just walk away.
Hello, Varm. I see you giving the gift of dreams to the young folks still.
And he looks around kind of nervously. You know that Dream Lily is not something that the Dask deal in here. Specifically, it's a Boromar clan thing. The Dask pushing into that market is dangerous, especially in middle quarters like this. But Varm straightens himself up and says, Hey, Frank, what are you doing here?
Oh, there's a party. I'm going to be there. Am I right?
You don't come to student parties very often, do you?
No, I don't. That's
I don't go to very many, but...
Listen, I don't want to stop your entrepreneurship. That's not really part of my deal, unless, of course, someone pays me to stop you. But what are you doing here? You just selling to parties now? This seems a little dangerous. Selling dreams like this, you might end up sleeping, but not in the way you want.
He says, I was just looking for something to do on the side, and this isn't official Dask business here, so I'd appreciate if you could just keep it between us.
Oh yeah, hey, you know me. Silent is the grave. That's what everyone says about old Frankie Turner.
That's not what I hear about you.
Yeah, well, listen. While I've got you here, you hear about that dead body that showed up near the bridge the other day?
Yeah, I heard about that. It's weird.
Yeah, it was weird. As you know, I'm sure you can't just toss someone off that bridge and expect them to die.
What does that mean, as I know? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying a man is...
You insinuating something?
I'm saying a man such as yourself has been around the block.
All right, that's true.
You're a man of experience. Yeah, the markings on it, though, I couldn't get over it. I did get a look at the body. It seemed like something unnatural had done it. You hear anything about that running around the streets these days?
none of the organized groups would really take out a hit on a college kid, really, unless.
Yeah, it doesn't seem up your alley, perhaps, but it does behoove the gangs to know when a potential threat is in the area. So I didn't know if there was any rumblings.
Not since this morning when the body was found. Everyone's still recovering from the slime incident.
Oh.
And then they got the claw down in the Fallen District, just wrecking things, but nothing really involving this.
Interesting.
Can Halwin kind of come up around this time?
Sure.
Do I recognize Varm?
Up to you. I mean,
I bet you do, and I bet he's not happy to see you because your relationships tend to be blackmail so far.
Part of why I wanted to walk up just now.
Maybe he's at least heard just to not deal with Halwin if possible. Whereas you're on a much more cordial basis, somewhat.
Yeah. So
so you walk up and he does kind of pipe up and he's like, I didn't know you brought your friend with you, Frank.
Well, you know, where I go, he goes.
That's, and who is your friend here, Frank?
I didn't realize you hadn't officially met. Halwin, Vom.
This whole time I'm like scrutinizing the hell out of him.
Vom, was that short for Parmesan?
Yeah, that's my Christian name, but please just Varm.
I had a cousin Parmesan, but he got shredded by the claw.
Oh no, Rhett's so pleased with himself.
Halwin and I have been investigating, so we had some clues that showed it might end up that led us to this party. We weren't just here for the fat beats, although they have been pumping tonight.
Do I?
I mean, they're all right.
Would anything about the way Varm is dressed, etc., let me know that he's in with the Dask?
Not necessarily. I don't think so. I don't think that there's any like trademark imagery that they have. But I mean, he's dressed pretty shiftily. And
you look shady.
But no outright signifiers like that.
So again, but saying that, I'm going to say, Varm, you look like someone who may know some of the workings of certain parts of the city. Do I have you pegged?
I'm an accountant.
Literally one of my skills.
Yeah, he's lying.
He's 100% lying. Okay.
You can tell that like he's much more comfortable talking to Frank than to you.
For some reason, people think they can get things past Frank. I don't know why.
But I get that he's more comfortable talking to Frank.
Yes.
All right, okay.
Definitely.
Varm, if you don't mind, I'd like to speak to my friend Francis here for a moment, but I know you two still have some catching up to do, so, don't you go anywhere.
All right, I got a couple more rounds to make here, but make it quick.
Right, a couple more accounting rounds to make, but of course at a
collections
college party. Francis, what's the deal with the Godwin?
Oh, Vom is he works for the Dask. He works for the Dask. I don't know, he's pretty low level, sort of a corner boy, if you will. Although I did notice he's selling some Dream Lily here tonight. That's not really a Dask thing.
No, especially not in this part of the city. Well,
some people might use that against him.
Some people might. And remember, we're not... The only finger we have in the pie is not for, this mystery with Paxton's dead friend. I'm also supposed to find this Claw individual.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll tell you what, he seems somewhat recalcitrant to talking to me. Why don't you see what he knows about that?
Yes, I will recalcify with Vom, and we will parlez-vous savvy.
We really need to do those weekly,
Well, you got me the word of the day toilet paper, but I used it up.
You need to stop eating so many burritos. All right, but find out...
You didn't want me to eat them. Why'd they make them so delicious?
Anyway, find out what he knows about the Claw. Lone is not someone I want to stay indebted to for long.
Right.
Plus, I really want to go see Keith's play, but I'm pretty sure I can't do it if I'm not in Lone's good graces. It just seems very taboo.
Yeah, I do know you are a lover of the theater. So, I'll talk to Vom. We'll see what he's got.
Yeah, so you come back up on him, and he's giving some dap to one of the other college students there.
Some dap?
Yeah, like
he's dapping up.
And like
it's like a pound.
I am old.
Dap, the other fantasy drug. Giving him some dap.
Yeah.
Doing dap. Yeah, so what do you want to talk to him about?
Yeah, so Vom, something I should have mentioned earlier. Obviously, we're here for the dead college kid, but the Claw, you brought him up on your own. What's the skinny on that, huh?
Well, all the criminal organizations in the lower quarter, Boromar, Dask, tyrants alike, people being picked off in the streets.
And nobody knows anything about the Claw?
Just rumors, just hearsay.
Well,
Some say it's a creature. Some say it's a person with just a big metal claw on their arm.
spooky.
Others say it's a Warforged construct. But it's all just rumors for the most part.
Naturally. Nothing more concrete you could share with an old friend from the block?
Not for free.
Well, let me look here in my wallet. It's a little light, but it does have a note that says selling Dream Lily on someone else's turf. That's weird.
Oh, that's weird.
That's odd. Why did I write a note and put it in my wallet there?
I don't know.
Unless
really.
it was payment of some sort.
Halwin somewhere is putting a pin back into the pocket of his jacket.
Yeah, Frank actually didn't know that was in his wallet. He's just as shocked as Barb. That's odd.
He sounds like he's like totally playing
Yeah.
him, but he's actually like legitimately surprised.
Yeah, so he looks exasperated after that. And he's like, oh, all right. Look, have you ever been to the Fallen District by any chance?
Yeah, I've been there once or twice.
There's not much to do there. It's kind of a graveyard for the most part since Glassfall. Mostly just temples, ruins for the most part.
Yeah, a real snooze fest.
Yeah. A lot of people say ghosts and the like, and ravers, these bloodthirsty cannibals that live throughout there. But one of our patrols got hit by this claw, and while they didn't see much, the one person that lived said that whatever is attacking our men is in the Fallen District, in the Blackstone Church.
Good to know.
All right, sounds good, Frank. I'm gonna go. Don't stay too long at this party, all right?
Oh, yeah. You know me. All-nighter Frank.
8 p.m. Frank.
They call me Tylenol PM Frank because I go to bed in the PM. I don't know. I didn't think that one through.
Okay. Paxton, what are you doing here?
I remember from my previous times in being at Cassandra's apartment, the balcony leads to a windowsill that she often keeps open.
Interesting.
That she often keeps open at night because, Sharn, the smog, you got to get that fresh air in there.
Yeah.
You gotta let more smog in.
Yeah.
Also, her room just gets very hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably is more.
Checks out.
That's better, yeah. Thanks for being here. So
yeah, that's a good idea. Like this windowsill that like is like kind of like, I mean, I'm imagining it as kind of like
Romeo.
a dangerous thing.
So she never closes windows. That was one of the things that always got under my skin. So
yeah, you were cold.
she would close them, but not all the way, so they'd be partially cracked. So
Right.
I just want to creep over there and see if it's partially cracked, and then possibly listen.
Okay, yeah, I think that it is kind of cracked. And it's difficult to hear because over the sound of the party inside and the bass going through the walls. But you do hear some sort of rhythmic, kind of structured speaking going on from the inside. You hear multiple voices. You hear 2 or 3 multiple voices talking over the top of each other, but also kind of in unison and kind of in rhythm.
Like chanting? Like, are they?
Something similar to that. And you
Yikes.
also see kind of a little bit some like flashing lights on the inside. Just little pops of color.
I'm very concerned. I have no clue what this could be. Can I do a roll here, a sort of like investigatory roll to see if I recognize what's going on or if it becomes more clear? Or do I have to put myself into a more disadvantageous situation?
I don't know if we need a roll for this because you're getting pretty much everything that you can from this situation. It's just that you're not looking into the window, and there's also a lot of factors that are kind of lowering your ability to hear it.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Fortune favors the bold, so I'm gonna
Sir
try.
Francis Drake.
I'm gonna try and lift the window.
Okay, so
From
what
the
I'm imagining
outside.
is that it's kind of like not directly beside the balcony, but it's kind of a little bit away.
A little bit further away.
So there's a
Okay,
little
yeah.
bit of a ledge that you might have to traverse in order to get over there.
Can I lean over the edge and try and like one arm it? Because I've been working out.
I mean, you could get the angle to get it up, but I do think that it's going to require you stepping out onto a ledge to actually get in there.
Okay, how far is the drop? I'm a gambler.
It's a couple of stories up, but there's also
The fall runes.
yeah, there probably would be a
Fuck
feather
it.
fall rune somewhere.
Let's
in there.
go.
There are also some balconies below there, also from the other apartments and the other.
I'm in. Let's. What have I got to lose?
Okay, so if you want to kind of step out onto that ledge and try and open up the window to get in, then we'll need you to act under pressure and roll and add your cool stat.
Doesn't he? I don't know if this is a specific ability he had to take, but when you go out on your own, don't you get a bonus?
It says, "Don't worry, I'll check it out. Whenever you go off by yourself to check out somewhere or something scary, mark experience."
I will gladly take that.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead and mark an experience for this before you roll.
When the intern shows initiative, he gets to mark experience.
So go ahead and roll the act under pressure.
Oh, a 5.
Still 5.
10 plus my 2 cool, so that's a 12.
Total of 12. Okay, so that is on act under pressure. That is a full success. You do what you set out to do. So yeah, you step out onto that ledge.
Cassandra and I used to, we used to, we didn't play by
Study
the rules
together.
all the time. Yeah, we studied a lot.
Yeah, so you step out onto the ledge. The wind kind of blows across your face, and you look down. You see the potentially very dangerous drop that could have befallen you, I guess.
Nice.
And yeah, so you reach over in and you find that familiar groove, and you lift it up. And you want to head inside?
Yeah, I got it. I got to. Fortune favors the bold.
Cool. All right, I like that. Yeah, so it's like you slip inside and into these popping lights and this chanting, and then we switch over to whatever someone else is doing in the party.
Ooh, I got a little location for the claw.
A location.
That's right.
That went better than I ever could have hoped. Very good. Give it here.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but I remember.
Do you care to tell me?
Yes.
Stone Church.
Yes, Blackstone Church.
Oh gosh, Francis, you had me. Just
I haven't even started drinking yet. Which, by the way, where's the keg?
There's a keg in the corner there. There's currently someone doing a keg stand on it.
Nice.
This dwarven young adult with this dark braided hair that's kind of like dangling downwards, kind of covering the top of the keg. And then he finishes, and then they lift him up, and he stands up and he looks around wildly, and you recognize him as a guy that was hanging out with Cassandra at the practice at the tryouts the other day, Creed, as Paxton described him to you.
So I advanced towards Creed with my arms wide open.
And he's just like going around like,
Creed!
I'm trying to think of how he would react to you.
how drunk is he?
Well, I was going to say, he's lightheaded. He just drank a bunch of beer.
Would he have noticed Frank at the tryouts? Because he was like off on the bleachers.
And I'm just like,
He only had a conversation with me, so how
Yeah, so he's like screaming and yelling, and everyone's cheering, and then he looks to you, he's like, and you're trying to hug him?
yeah, I'm just like joining in the merriment. I'm like,
okay.
Creed!
You just put your arms out. I thought you were going in for a hug.
you elbow dance over to him?
Yeah,
But yeah, no, yeah, he sees you and he's like, woo! Yeah!
that was a keg stand.
Definitely.
Keg stand. You know what a keg stand like that deserves?
What?
More beer.
More beer.
More beer. More beer. And,
More grave. More beer.
and I'm going to ply him with some more alcohol and kind of steer him away from the larger party, if I can.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll to manipulate someone. To tempt him somewhere else with a promise of more beer.
8.
That's an 8.
Okay, so an 8. Do you have any charm?
I do not have any charm.
Funny. Okay. So they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it.
I pull out my special flask. This is the good stuff. Let me ask you something. You ever had aged mead?
It's like, yeah, all the time.
15 years?
Yeah, I mean, back in the Moorholtz we had that stuff all the time.
Yeah. Well, do you want something that reminds you of home?
Yeah, I'll take it. And then he grabs some, and as you're walking around with him, he bumps shoulders into someone, this kind of halfling student. They start yelling at each other a lot. They start shoving each other around like they have some bad history.
Whoa, break it up. Everybody's having fun here.
and Creed's like, yeah, listen to my friend Frank. He'll mess you up.
Yeah, you don't want any of this, young man.
You're rolling into it?
So this halfling with brown hair and this kind of his hair tied up in a bun up on the top of his head.
A half-man bun?
Yeah. And he's wearing like
Ouch.
this. He's probably wearing, he's wearing like this dark like vest, but with no shirt on underneath.
He's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
and he also seems to be pretty visibly inebriated.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, Frank, you want to go? You and me right now.
I tell you what, go out on the balcony. I need to do my stretches first, and then I'm ready.
He's like, no, if you and me are going to hang, you got to deal with him.
Yeah, I'm dealing with him right now. I'm telling him where to go.
Let's go then.
All right, let's do this. Fine. Let's go to the balcony, just the three of us, all right?
Yeah, fine. You all head out onto the balcony in the cold night.
Halwin's watching
Probably
this.
like right after we see like how Paxton duck into the window, then you all like walk out and start.
Oh yeah, it's like in and they come out.
Yeah.
Like,
Is my uncle fighting kids again?
All right, and the halfling like gets out there and just like he takes his vest off and just like bare chest out in the night breeze and is like just like beating his chest. It's like, all right, come on.
All right. And I crack my knuckles, and I'm going to throw them. You said they're fall runes, right? I'm going to throw them over the edge of the balcony.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and roll to kick some ass then for that.
we're sure there are fall runes, right?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like an understood thing in Sharn. Because like you have to have them, especially in residential areas and college areas.
Yeah.
Incidentally, people from Sharn die of falling a lot when they travel.
Right. They're like, I just thought it was going to be there.
I just assumed I could climb this without any climbing gear.
So we can roll to kick some ass, and if you roll well enough, your extra effect could be to get him off.
Yeah,
he's
that's
going to contest you in this. And,
yeah.
You know.
But I am not inebriated.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a 12.
Nice.
Okay. So it is exactly as you say. There's a quick scuffle where the halfling just like leaps at you and like grabs onto your shoulders, and as you try and like get him off, and he's trying to he's throwing these punches into your shoulders, but they're not really doing anything. And then what do you do with them?
Yeah, I think the sweat, I just am slick like a greased up pig, and I just
With your
like
clothes on.
yeah, and I just sort of like pivot and just swing, use his momentum and let him go flying right over the edge of the balcony. And
It's just like
yeah,
Bro, that was tight.
what is it? What's the Wilhelm scream?
Willem scream.
Yeah.
And so no one in the party really notices, but Creed's like, that was awesome.
Halwin's just like in the corner, like he just drops his glass out of his hands, watching this from the other side of the party.
Creed like runs over to the balcony and looks down, and then you see the halfling slowly falling down on next to near the other balcony, kind of just like spinning and just kind of slipping.
He's starfishing.
He's like trying to like reach out and like, grab things, but just kind of spinning and moving. But he does. You do eventually kind of see him lower gently to the ground below, and then just kind of like stay there.
Yeah.
And raise his fist and you hear.
I turn to Gray, like, yeah, that'll teach him to mess with you, right?
It's like, yeah, that was awesome. We should hang out.
Yeah, we should. Hey, you know what that fall reminded me of?
What?
Did you hear about that body that showed up the other day?
That is a great segue.
Yeah. The Sharny.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I heard talk that you're on the team at Mulgrave, but as a competitor, I'm sure you'd rather defeat them on the field than something so terrible befall them.
Of course, it's a tragedy what happened. I feel for the Sharnies.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful to hear.
Except for Paxton, I hate that guy.
Yeah, that guy, he's got a few screws loose, am I right?
Yeah, he thinks he's hot shit, but he's an amateur.
Yeah. He can work a stick, though. You gotta give him that.
But can he drive a stick?
I don't know. Just like his school, he's second rate.
Yeah. Different strokes.
I love looking at Kyle's face right now.
Okay. I'm technically not here, but I'm angry somewhere.
Yeah.
Speaking of those shinies in that body, have you heard anything about that?
About the body? No.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of like downer talk. Like, we're at a party right now. Like,
I know. Sometimes
like drinking the meat and it's like,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, it's sad. Yeah, it's sad. Okay, I feel bad that it happened.
I know. I'm being a downer. Sometimes alcohol makes me a bit wistful.
You see him kind of start to spiral into negative emotions.
Yeah. I'm sure as another lacrosse player that you'd be sad and both interested in what happened. So I didn't know if you'd heard anything. That's all.
Nothing more than what everyone else knows.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, I tell you what, I know what would cheer you up.
More beer?
Yeah, more beer.
More beer. Cool.
All right, now take them
Just
in there
leading
and
back into the party where people are like, oh, where have you been? It's been like a minute or two.
They want you to dance, and they want him to do more keg stands.
I start dancing again.
Okay, cool. So we can cut back into Cassandra's room, where Paxton is there after just having dropped in through the window. And Paxton, what you're faced with is Cassandra. Her room is fairly dark, but the light from the open window and the light from her hair kind of give it this bluish glow.
I love that about her.
And there are two other individuals, girls seemingly around her age. A human and an elven girl there, and they're kind of sitting around this ritualistic circle in between them, with these engravings and runes in the middle of them. There's like incense and some crushed jewels kind of around the edges and in the center, and from there you see this little pop of light in the center that's just kind of shooting off these bright pulses of light. And Cassandra just kind of is looking up, and like everyone is just kind of frozen for a moment, and just so surprised at what's happening.
So all right. So I need a little bit of like world explanation here at this point. Is this sort of like being into crystals in Sharn, or is this like an actual like something that wouldn't be normal? Like it's probably not normal, but is it like?
Well, I think being into crystals in Sharn means you can actually do magic with the crystals.
Okay, yeah. So is this something that I've like seen her do before? Is this like?
I think it's something that you may have seen her dabble in. Mm-hmm. It does seem to be a ritual of some sort, a pretty low level ritual that is just kind of like a way to communicate to the other side and try and get some sort of feedback from spirits in some way. It's kind of a party trick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So am I familiar with the elven and the human lady? Have I met them before?
I don't think so. I think what we kind of talked about was, do you think that Paxton and Cassandra's relationship ended as she was going into college, or did you want it to kind of move beyond that into college?
Yeah, I don't think I ever knew many of her college friends.
Yeah, so I don't think
you guys high school sweethearts?
Yeah. Sweetheart seems a little too nice. we bickered a lot. It's high school kids.
It's kind of hot and cold. So yeah, you see all that happening, and this type of magic is nowhere near uncommon.
Okay, so it's not like demon magic.
No,
like nothing.
No, not
okay,
at all.
Cool.
It's a party trick, and Moorgrave University is known for teaching their students far more intense magic than this. And Cassandra herself is a dungeon delve major, so she is very familiar with stuff like this.
A dungeon delve major?
Yeah, it's one of the majors that they offer. They go down to the ruins underneath the city and search
I think you did say something about
search for treasure.
Right.
Okay.
So she's looking up, she's like, Paxton, what are you doing here?
So as we all know, I very gracefully entered the window.
Yeah, you rolled a full success.
Yeah,
whatever you want.
So it was like I'm just, very smooth, very like cat-like, just
suave,
straight. Yeah. Oh, super suave. Me at parties, suave. So, so I've entered the room, and I'm also a little bewildered by the two people in there, because I know she likes to keep her circles tight, but obviously I don't know these individuals. So
yeah, and the ritual circle is also very tight.
Yeah. So I stand up from my entrance, and I dust my sport coat off. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Cassandra,
Letterman jacket, sports coat. You're wearing a blazer now.
My sports coat. Hey,
you dolled up for the party. You got a Sharn State monogrammed blazer.
Cassandra, it's good to see you again. Twice in 2 days. That's
yes, I believe that's a record as of late.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
That's a good point. Is there any way we can talk like in private? Like I know you're here with your friends, but
Why?
I just have some questions for you.
Concerning?
Murder?